mira, bobo. Anda para allá, bobo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another live stream. This time we're going to be previewing Inter Miami versus Seattle Sounders in the Leagues Cup final. Guys, I'm super excited for this final. I'm so excited. I'm like spinning. I'm spinning all over the place. Welcome everybody to this very rare midday live stream here on a Saturday. Beautiful Saturday. We got college football going on right now. It's a beautiful day. I'm super excited. Super eventful weekend going on, and I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Inter Miami are finally here, in another final, in the Leagues Cup final. The possibility of winning their second Leagues Cup trophy in 3 seasons. Messi has the possibility of winning his 47th title in his career. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how much of a threat Seattle really is. We're going to talk, and we're just going to get hyped, guys. This stream is just simply about getting hyped, getting excited about the game. We're going to go through our normal things like predicting lineups, predicting scores, etc., etc. So don't worry. We're going to get through all of that. Don't you worry. But I'm super excited that everybody's here. We got Circus Fun already in the chat. We also have Ace Lionel in the chat as well. We have Mr. Lionel Monaco CS, yet another final. Yes, sir. We're super excited. Guys, make sure you like the video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you turn on that notification bell because we will be going live after the final tomorrow, regardless of the result. We're here. We always do these post game reactions. We always do these preview live streams. So make sure you're subscribed and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the time I go live. This is going to be a tough game, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. This is going to be a pretty tough game. Hold on. Before I continue, I want to change this because the text is black and it's like you can't see it. It's like you just can't see it. So let me try to see if that works. I don't know. Like you can't see the text at all. But anyways, doesn't matter. Anyway, this game is going to be a tough game. Seattle Sounders are a pretty good team. I mean, currently, how do you say it? Currently, I mean, like they've been pretty dominant in the Leagues Cup tournament as in general. Obviously, they had like that 7-0 win against Cruz Azul, and then they played against Puebla. I'm pretty sure they played against Tijuana. They were getting a bunch of 2-1 wins. I think in their most recent Leagues Cup game in the semifinals, they played against LA Galaxy, who yes, of course, are not having the best season right now, but they did okay in the Leagues Cup to get to the semifinal, and they beat them 2-0 before they played LA Galaxy in the Leagues Club. They played Puebla, where it was a 0-0 tie. They were a man down, and they ended up still going through on penalty kicks. So obviously, there still is a chance for us, but I would like to say that Seattle are kind of like, I don't want to say they're having a similar season to us, but low-key they're having like a very similar season to us when it comes to like statistically, like scoring goals, winning games, shots on target, things like that, because I was doing the comparison between Inter Miami and Seattle Sounders on the SofaScore website. And as you guys know, SofaScore is a very statistical website. It just bases everything off statistics. It gives you ratings and it gives you averages and things like that. And I was looking at it, and we're very similar. It's very similar. This is me doing the comparison. I'm going to show you guys around. This is me doing the comparison right here, just specifically for Leagues Cup this year. So in the 5 matches that each team played, they both scored, like Seattle scored 13, we scored 12. They've only conceded 2 goals all tournament. We conceded 6. And they had 9 assists. We have 8. Goals per game, they averaged 2.6 goals per game. We averaged 2.4 goals per game. Shots on target, 6.6. We have 5.2. Big chances per game, 4.8. We have 3.6. So it's like, it's very similar It's very similar statistics. And in the MLS this year, let me go to the MLS. They have 2 games in hand. We are in 2 games in hand. But they're very similar. Obviously, we have more goals than them. We scored 54. They have 48. They have 38 goals conceded. We have 40. They have 37 assists. We have 41. They average 1.8 goals a game. We average 2.2. 5.1 shots on target. We average 5.0. Like, it's things like that. It's these like little statistics where it's like, damn, like statistically, we're very, very, very similar teams. So this is gonna be pretty tough. That on top of going to Seattle, traveling all the way to Washington on the West Coast, that is something that Inter Miami are not accustomed to. We're not accustomed to that at all. Like, I think this season, I'm trying to remember. I think we played did we play the Galaxy this season? Who was that? What was the one Eastern Conference or Western Conference game that we had this season? I'm trying to remember, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. I know we went to Texas, we went to like Dallas, and we played Dallas. We went to did we go to LAFC? No, I think we hosted them. Yeah, no. So it's like I'm pretty sure this is like the furthest, or Minnesota, San Jose. Yeah, no, regardless, I think this is like the furthest Inter Miami I feel like traveled besides the time I think last year they played against LA Galaxy. So it's gonna be a pretty we went to Vancouver, says Sergio. Good point. We did go to Vancouver. That is good. Okay, I guess relative in the United States. I mean, like, Washington is not that far from Canada. But yeah. Washington's not that far from Canada. But I guess we'll talk about relatively just in the United States. It's a pretty long flight. It's a really, really long flight, and Inter Miami are not really accustomed to it, even though we have made those trips to Canada. Like, the furthest we would probably go would be Dallas. We would probably go up to like I said, last year we went to LA. I think we went to Minnesota, which is like up north, that was probably a pretty long drive, or a long flight. But yeah, so Inter Miami are not used to that. They're also playing on turf, which is going to be crazy. Leonel Monaco's asking about the turf. What about the turf? We're playing on turf, guys. And that is something that we've played, obviously, in the past. We played on turf in the past. But it's just nothing. It's just not really an ideal situation. It's very dangerous. And we just don't like it. I don't want to use the turf as an excuse, but you play differently on turf, right? It's not just simply just for your legs or for your knees, like bad in that sense, but the ball rolls differently on turf. You have to, it's very, I don't want to say it's unpredictable, but it's just you know the difference between playing on grass and playing on turf. So it's going to be a little bit of a disadvantage there because obviously we're not accustomed to it. Seattle are very accustomed to it. It's going to be at their home, in front of their home crowd. I think it's going to be in front of like 77,000 people, which is absolutely insane. Jay Vasquez is saying it's going to be a loud Seattle crowd. Miami needs to take the crowd out early. Don't let Seattle score first or early. Must control the tempo and possession. What sucks about this, Vasquez, and it's a good point that you put out, don't let Seattle score first or early. We suck at that. We really suck at we suck at not getting scored on first. Does that make sense? I feel like we always constantly, Inter Miami always constantly get scored on first. I feel like there was very few times in this season where we're the ones that are actually giving the first blow. But you're so right, and it's gonna be tough in front of a crowd. But listen, at the same time, you got to remember who's on this team, right, guys. We have Lionel Messi. We have Luis Suarez, Jordi Alba, De Paul, Busquets. We even have players that played in the South American leagues like Ustari, Maxi Falcon, Aviles. We have players, Terasco Segovia, who played in Portugal. And we have players that are used to the crowds like this. Mainly the Avengers, right? The five guys, the five big names, the superstar players, the Avengers. We have players that are accustomed to playing against big crowds, who are loud, who are passionate, who are getting in your ear. Like, we're used to that. And Messi and all of them have been through a lot worse. Even this season alone, we played in front of Mexican crowds, essentially. Like, we would play in front of Mexican crowds. We played in front of Brazilian crowds in the Club World Cup. When we played here at the Hard Rock, we were in front of a Brazilian crowd. There were more Palmeiras fans. There was more, even Porto fans. Like, there was Palmeiras specifically. We'll stick to the Palmeiras because I went to that game and I could tell you firsthand. The Palmeiras game against Inter Miami in the Club World Cup, it was full Brazilians. It was all Palmeiras fans, all Brazilian people. And we handled it. We handled it very, very, very well. So I don't think the crowd is going to have as much of an impact as people may think, because we are used to playing crowds like this. I don't think the crowd is going to affect us. I'm trying to see, but it is a good point to bring up Vasquez. So thank you. Excuse me. Let's see. Even Sergio says Inter Miami has played in big stadiums before. During the preseason, we played in South America with big crowds. Yeah. Why play the final on turf? I mean, that's just how the stadium is, right? And Seattle are hosting. The host was either going to be LA Galaxy or Seattle. LA Galaxy because they have natural rights. Galaxy were always going to be like high seeded because they won the cup last year. Like, they won the league, or they won the MLS Cup last year. So like, they had like hosting rights, but then because they got knocked out, the rights were given to Seattle or something like that. So they were always going to be hosting, and it was just whether it was going to be LA or Seattle. So we were never going to be hosting the final, if that's what you were kind of coming at. The Real Deal says, we need a quick goal to get the crowd of the game. I bet a lot of Messi haters. Yeah, I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of Messi haters, but there's also going to be a lot of Messi supporters, because obviously Messi supporters are all around the world. But like I said, I don't think the crowd is going to be that big of an impact as people may think. I think it's mainly going to be the turf. I think the turf is going to be a huge point, like a huge factor, a huge variable in the game, because it's something that, even though we have played, like I said, even though we have played in it before, we're just accustomed to playing on grass, and we play a lot better on grass. But no, I think when it comes to Seattle, when I was looking into their players, I think Seattle are really good offensively from what I showed you guys in the comparisons of stats and things like that. Seattle looked like a very good offensive team. And like I said, in the MLS regular season, they've scored 48 goals. They've only conceded 38 in 27 games. Us, Miami, we scored we scored 54 goals and we conceded 40. So it's very similar. They do very, very well offensively. But when I look at their players, a lot of people are talking about Andrew Thomas in goal. I think we're going to be able to put past him if he doesn't have the best game. They also have Pedro de la Vega. They have Roldan, their captain, who is a veteran player, a good player. They have in the midfield, they also have Ben Vargas. Apparently, according to a shout out to Battered Herons and Chris and Danny. But they talked about Seattle, or they had a guest on about Seattle. And I looked a little bit. I was listening to it for a little bit, and apparently they like to. Apparently Seattle likes to congest the midfield, which is something that we are used to playing against. That's how Orlando was playing against us in the semifinals. They were congesting midfield. They were forcing us wide. They were trying to get us to cross the ball, and we ended up, making a difference. We ended up winning the game regardless. So I think we just can't really let the game get to our heads. We just have to play this like a regular game, and I think we're going to be good. I think we're going to be in a good situation. I'm predicting that Inter Miami are going to win this game. I think Inter Miami are not going to be dominant. I don't want to say that Inter Miami are going to completely blow Seattle out of the water. I think Seattle are going to put up a really, really good fight. It should be a close game, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes to penalty kicks. But I mean, it depends on how defensive Seattle kind of play and who really makes the first mistake, if that makes sense. Because on both ends, on both Inter Miami, on both Seattle, defensively, especially Maxi Falcon, I feel like Maxi Falcon had a really, really, underwhelming performance against Orlando. I thought he had a couple of lapses in defense, lapses in judgment, where he would let Angulo like straight through. He would let Muriel loose. And, you know, if that happens against Seattle, if he does that against Seattle, we're going to be in big trouble. So hopefully we can do pretty good, and hopefully we can defensively be a little bit solid. And at that point, we just kind of have to rely on the attack to do their thing and kind of break through their defense as best as we can. Sergio mentions about the Al Ahly supporters when we were playing Al Ahly. That's also true. The turf is going to affect us, says Stancy. Let's see. We will beat the hell out of the Sounders, says Jesse. I like the attitude. I like the confidence. Mr. says, I'm calling it now. Rodrigo de Paul becomes Rodrigo de Balls again. Which player is Dr. Doom? I don't know which player is going to be Dr. Doom, but hopefully these players are going to be stepping up. Lionel Monaco says, we are going to dominate. Please talk about our defense, dude. Yeah, like I said, we've had the mental. As long as we don't have these mental lapses, I think we should be fine. But we are going to have at some point these mental lapses. If we have the center backs pairing of Maxi Falcon and Gonzalo Luján has been stepping up a little bit. I think Luján has been playing a little bit better, like with each game that he plays, if that makes sense. I thought against Orlando last time out, I thought he did fine. I thought there was a couple things, maybe one or two things that maybe he did wrong or whatever. But I thought compared to Maxi Falcon, I thought Maxi Falcon had a much worse game than Gonzalo Luján. And so we're just gonna have to hope that Gonzalo Luján can continue this form, or this, I guess, small increments of uptick in his form. And then I don't know, we just have to hope that either Maxi Falcon has to I don't want to say step it up, but it's like he has to lock in, I guess. He just needs to lock in. He can't really be caught sleeping. He does get pretty aggressive going forward. Like you can clearly tell Maxi Falcon gets really aggressive going forward. He pushes really high. And then sometimes he'll just lose his positioning, and it'll affect us. Sports World Talk. Shout out to Sports World Talk with the 199 super chat. We are good if Segovia and Rodriguez step it up. Listen, hey, huge shout out to Sports World Talk, man. You are the GOAT. First of all, huge shout out to Sports World Talk. Yo, and you're right. I have to talk about your point for a second. So we didn't play Telasco Segovia. We didn't start Telasco Segovia against Orlando, right? And it kind of had me worried a little bit. Because Telasco Segovia is a really good player. And obviously when he came off the bench against Orlando, he played really well. He obviously had that goal. And now I'm thinking, is Telasco Segovia going to be starting in the final? Or is Baltasar Rodriguez going to be starting in the final? Because Baltasar Rodriguez I feel like it was his first start. I could be wrong on that. But Baltasar Rodriguez was probably one of the better players in against Orlando in the semifinals. I thought he played fantastic. I was at the game. I was sitting in section 124, so I was behind the net. So for the first half, I was just seeing Baltasar Rodriguez, and I had a really close-up view on Baltasar Rodriguez. And he was great. He was comfortable on the ball. He was dribbling through players. He was linking up with the other guys really well. And for somebody who literally got no minutes this year and just scored his first goal with the club in the game prior, I'm pretty sure, he's been doing really well. So now the question becomes, do we start Baltasar again? Or do we go back to our routine or our kind of what we're familiar with in starting Telasco Segovia? I want to kind of leave that question up to you guys, because I'm not sure what the answer is. I mean, like I said, I love the Baltasar, but just because he had the two good games, I mean, like, honestly, I was going to say just because he had two good games, or because he scored his first goal in the game he came off the bench, and now he had a really good game against Orlando, that doesn't mean he should just automatically be getting the starting spot. But I feel like we should also, at the same time, right? I feel like at the same time, we should also take advantage of this situation of him being in this good form and this good momentum, and we should keep the momentum going with Baltasar. That's what I'm thinking. Hey, huge shout out again to Sports World Talk for the 199 for the Super Sam. It's a great point talking about these two players, because it's valid. This is something that we need to discuss about the lineup. Apparently, the Sounders don't have a reliable goal scorer. They will rely on their midfield to create and score, which is, if that's the case, that should help our defense out a lot. Because that'll be, I don't want to say that's one less thing to worry about, but that also means they probably overload. They'll probably overload ball side pretty heavily. Like, if they're going to rely on their midfield, if they're going to play like somewhat similar to, I guess, I don't know, to how they normally playing, maybe they'll try to overload to ball side and then maybe play for switches, or I don't know. It's gonna be hard to tell. Honestly, I can't wait. I'm not gonna act like an expert on Seattle because I obviously haven't watched them, and I can't. There was only so much I could watch between like a couple days ago and now to be like an expert on how they play. But I mean, if they're good in the midfield, they're probably going to have midfield control. They're going to want to take control of this game, and they're not going to want Inter Miami to have possession. That's in my opinion, because like I said, like I said in the post game reaction, or even in the preview for Orlando, I said Orlando. I specifically said Orlando was going to let us have the ball, because that's how they played last time we played it. The last 2 times we played them, they let us have the ball, and they let us have the ball in the semifinals, and that did not work out for them at all. That's because we were on our game. Everybody was back. We were in really good spirits and good form. I don't think Seattle's going to be allowing that. Don't think Seattle's going to be allowing us to have that freedom or that amount of possession. KGF is saying, we are going to win. Be positive because Messi is playing. Messi just needs one magic moment. And Aiden is asking, why not both for Baltasar Rodriguez and Telasco Segovia? I just, like, so if Baltasar Rodriguez plays on the right side, I think he played on the left side on Wednesday in the semis. I think he played on the left, because I remember him coming down on my right side, so it would be his left side in that first half of that. And I think Rodrigo de Paul and Lionel Messi would kind of switch in between in that right-hand side. So, I mean, we could. I guess it depends on how you kind of want to set up. Rodrigo de Paul, a lot of people criticize his performance against Orlando. I don't think it was like that bad. I mean, I think in the first half he was a little bit switched off, but I don't think it was like anything horrendous. We had a lot of midfield support. I mean, like with Yannick Bright, like we essentially played with the midfield 3 with Yannick Bright, with Busi, and with De Paul. So I think if we can keep that, I mean, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I think it's going to be very difficult. I think Baltasar can offer us a lot, but it's really hard to just bench De Paul for Telasco Segovia, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's going to be hard. I don't think both are going to be playing. I think it's going to be one or the other. Balta needs to understand, or Balta understands the flow of the big 5. Yeah, he definitely was flowing and gelling really well with the big 5 on against Orlando. I want both Baltasar and Telasco starting. Bench either Bright or Lujan. No. We can't bench Bright. No. I thought Bright played really well against Orlando. And Bright has, every time Bright plays, we play well. We have good stability in that midfield. And then when Busi drops back on as a center back, or when Busi pushes up to help create, we have Bright. I don't know. I don't see Bright getting benched, because if we have a midfield of Baltasar Rodriguez, Busi, De Paul, and Telasco Segovia, we don't have a defensive player. Like, we just don't have a defensive player, because both Busi's going to be forced to play further back, and then De Paul is going to play further forward, which is not a bad thing, but for recovery, for one-on-ones, it might hurt us a little bit, because Busquets transitioning back defensively, even though he's not even though he's fine, like he's okay, he's good, it probably won't be the best. It probably won't be the best option, especially if they have quick players or like speedy players. Busquets is going to be forced to take him down, which is not going to be good for us like throughout 90 minutes. I don't know if that made any sense, but Mr. Vista says, I'd play Busquets and the ball in the middle, and then Messi in the 10, Baltasar and Segovia on the wings. No, but like I said, like that doesn't give us any defensive support. That doesn't give us any defensive support. When you have attacking players like De Paul, Velasco Segovia, it's like who's gonna be our holding midfield? You know what I'm saying? I think we kind of need a holding midfield. I mean, we need Bright, says Lionel Monaco, bench Lujan and drop Busquets as a center back. I understand, but that's not. I don't think that's the best idea because if you drop Lujan, like if you bench Lujan and you just play Maxi Falcon and Busquets and then play Bright and De Paul, like, are you really gonna play Busi that far back? Like, it doesn't. Like, it doesn't. It not that it doesn't make any sense, but like it's not safe. Not it's not a smart idea. It's just not a smart idea to just have Busi there while you have Bright and De Paul like higher up the field. I just feel like because I feel like it's one wrong move and then Busi doesn't have that speediness or the recovery to or like I don't think Busquets is going to be able to recover, especially if we play like a mid to high line. We're not going to be able to recover. We're going to have to be forced to play a low line. And like what Lujan brings to the table is that speed. Like Lujan is pretty quick. Same thing with Maxi. Like they can both essentially run to an extent. I mean, Maxi is a little slower. Maxi, honestly, I can't say that Maxi's fast. Lujan is a little bit faster, but it's like fast enough to recover and kind of slow down the counterattack. Maybe I might be overhyped. Like I might be giving him a little bit too much credit, but I don't think Seattle has a lot of speed getting it behind though. Do they? They do have Jesus Ferreira, who could be, but I don't think so. I don't think like him getting it behind would necessarily be an issue. Osase de Rosario looked like somebody who really, really gets up there and maybe could be a problem, but I have no idea. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm an expert at Seattle talk, but Sports World Talk says we have to keep Bright. Who is your best starting 11? Okay. Let me do a full predicted starting 11. If I were to predict the starting 11 for tomorrow against Seattle, it would be obviously Ustari in goal. Then the back four has to be the same back four that we played against Orlando. Ian Frey has to start. Ian Frey and Jordi Alba have to start. Lujan has to start. It's not going to be Avilés. Avilés has been dropped essentially from the team. So it can't be him, and it shouldn't be him. It's not going to be Noah Allen, unfortunately. Even though I like Noah Allen, I highly rate Noah Allen, I just don't think it's going to be Noah Allen. And then Maxi Falcon is the only other option you have. So the back four is going to be from left to right, Jordi Alba, Maxi Falcon, Gonzalo Lujan, Ian Frey. Back four, secured. The midfield, well, let me just say, Messi and Suarez are going to start. Now we're just going to see what the midfield four is if we're doing the 4-4-2, right? If we're doing 4-4-2, we're going to see what the midfield four is. The ball is going to play, and Busquets is going to play. There's no question about that either. So we have at least one center mid. Now the question is whether the ball plays on the right-hand side like he did last time, or I guess center mid, and then just kind of rotate with Messi in some way, or play like a cam. If Rodrigo De Paul and Sergio Busquets play, we need probably damn dude. The thing I'm trying to think, because Ashende is quick. Ashende is quick and gets into those goal scoring positions. Baltasar is quick, but doesn't get into goal scoring positions. He creates the goal scoring. Like he creates the goal scoring opportunities. He'll dribble, he'll pass, he'll make those final passes. So like, you know what I'm saying? Ashende doesn't do that. The thing is, like I said, with Ashende, he just can't score. Like he just can't score, and he hasn't been scoring. If you want somebody who can score and it can get into those positions to score, you have to put Velasco Segovia. I feel like you have to put Velasco Segovia. And I'm trying to think. If you play Telasco Segovia, if let's say you play him on the right, or yeah, let's say you play him on the right, you can't, like, you're not going to be able to play Bright unless you also play De Paul as like a winger. So the only way that you could fit De Paul, Bright, Busquets, and Telasco Segovia without Baltazar, with no Baltazar, you have to play Telasco Segovia on the left, De Paul on the right, and then you would just have to switch, and then like De Paul and Messi would just have to kind of switch in and out. Like De Paul would have to come in centrally, then Messi would have to move out wide and then cut inside, like how we normally would do. But I don't know. It's gonna all depend. We're gonna have Mascherano back on the sidelines. I honestly, genuinely, okay. To finish wrapping up the question, I think if we just play the same exact lineup that we did against Orlando, and then we'll bring on Nashinde off the bench, we bring Telasco Segovia off the bench, I think we'll be okay. If anything, I'll take off Baltazar and put in Telasco Segovia, like, to start. Yeah. I don't want to do that, though, because he had a great game last time out. He had a great game. Okay. So, no. The final decision is going to be literally the last time we played out. So, it would be Yannick Bright, Sergio Busquets, Rodrigo De Paul, Lionel Messi, Baltasar Rodriguez, and then Luis Suarez up top. It has to be that. They have speedy players, but no goal-scoring threat, says Ace Leon Monaco about Seattle Sounders. Left winger Pedro de la Vega on Sounders has decent speed. Sounders shoot a lot, but don't have good accuracy. That should be great for us. Think about it. Busquets and Bright can alternate between offense and defense, and Bright is faster. That is true. Your dog is cute, says Stancy. He's right there. If you guys didn't notice him, he is super tired. So, I took him out for a walk, and he's just sleepy. Sounders play Georgie Munungu. He's going to toast the Inter Miami back line. He's crazy fast, and he's an explosive dribbler. What the hell is that? What does that even mean? Oh, Georgie Munungu. I found him. I'm like, what is... I thought that was like... I thought that was slang. I didn't even know what that meant. Like, I thought like, what does that mean, playing Georgie Munungu? No, but you mean a player. There's a player called Georgie Munungu on Seattle. Hold on, let me pull him up right here. Boom. Georgie Munungu. He's a right wing, no outstanding strengths, no outstanding weaknesses. He has 71 technical ability rating. He's really not good at anything else. But he's a good dribbler. He got a goal against Santos. He has like very average, form. He's only started 5 games, so I guess he's kind of like the secret weapon off the bench, like you said, an explosive dribbler. So maybe this is a kid that we have to look out for. How old is he? He's 23. Yeah, maybe this is somebody we're gonna have to look out for from the Ivory Coast. Oh no, you missed it live. No, we're just gonna be. No, you didn't miss it completely. We will be. Well, let's just jump straight into predictions. Because I think we've already been doing this for about like 30-something minutes. Yeah, so let's jump straight into predictions. I already gave a predicted starting lineup. I think we're gonna do the same exact thing. I think we should do the same exact thing we did against Orlando, lineup-wise. I think, if anything, the one change will be Baltazar will come off for Telasco Segovia. But other than that, I think Bright and Busi will start in the midfield. I think Messi and obviously Suarez are going to be starting up top. And then Rodrigo De Paul probably should be rotating with Messi in that manner. And then whether or not I think it's Baltazar's position's up for grabs. But other than that, I think it'll be the same. So for score predictions, what do you guys think the score is going to be for tomorrow in the final? Inter Miami versus Seattle Sounders. Who do you think is going to win? Is it going to be Miami? Is it going to be Seattle? Will Miami win their second Leagues Cup trophy in 3 seasons. Will Lionel Messi win his, I believe, 47th trophy in his career? Will this be one of many trophies that we win this season? Wink, wink, aka MLS Cup, aka Supporter Shield. I really hope so. Like I said, I don't think this is gonna be a complete blowout. I don't think this is gonna be a dominant game from either side. At least it shouldn't be. I don't think Seattle should be dominating Inter Miami. I don't think Inter Miami should be dominating Seattle. But I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a really competitive game. I think both teams are really going to be going at it. Both teams are really good offensively. And then both teams have their struggles on defense as well. I guess it'll just be it's just going to be who's the better player on the day. You know what I'm saying? Or who's the better team on the day. So I'm really excited. But for my prediction, I think we're going to go with, I already see some predictions coming in. Mr. says 2-1. Dan says 2-0 in Miami. Lionel says, or Ace Lionel says 5-0 blowout into Miami. Mr. Duke says 2-1. KGF says Messi win. Messi again brace. Lionel Monaco says campeones. I think we're going to struggle, but we win 2-1, says Stancy. That's crazy. I really hope we don't struggle. I really, really hope we don't struggle, but I see where you're coming. So what am I doing this weekend? I'm watching the game this weekend. I'm going to be watching the League Cup final. I think I'm trying to think of a prediction. I think Messi's going to score. There's no way that Messi's going to play this final and not at least try to score. I think he's going to get it. And I think he's going to get a goal. I think Messi's going to score. And if Velasco plays, I think he's going to score as well. I'm going to predict that. You know what? No, I'm going to predict a Messi goal. I'm going to predict a Suarez goal. And I'm going to predict... do I keep the Velasco goal? Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to keep a Velasco goal. I'm going to predict a 3-1 victory for Inter Miami. And I know that sounds pretty, dominant, I guess, right? But I think it's going to be a really tight game for the most part. I think it's going to be 1-0. I think Seattle's going to go up first, 1-0. And then I think maybe we get 2 after that. Solid Rock 199 super chat. Shout out to Solid Rock, the GOAT, bro. Are we doing the watch party is what he's asking. So funny that you asked that, because what we're planning on doing is that Messi and Co, the show Messi and Co, as you guys know on Twitter and all that, they are doing a watch party. They're going to be doing a watch party, and they're going to, from beginning to end, they're going to react to it, and they're going to be there. I'm going to make an appearance for a bit, because we're going to be doing a barbecue, or we're going to be celebrating, and we're going to be watching it with my family. So I don't want to be up here and do the watch party. I was thinking about doing the watch party, but I don't want to be up here, do the whole watch party while my whole family's downstairs watching the game on their own. So I feel kind of rude, and I feel it's a little bit disrespectful. So I'm not doing a whole watch party, but if you guys want to watch a watch party, Messi and Co, Five Visions Football, they're going to be doing one. And I'm going to be making an appearance in there at halftime, and I think at the end of the game as well. I'm not sure. We didn't really discuss that part yet. But at halftime, for sure, I'm going to be giving my halftime notes. And then after the game, I'll be going on live as I normally would, doing a post-game reacting to the game, and things like that. Ace Lena says, Cello goal, and Matt shaves his hair. Bet. So, yeah. Hear your heart tell us. Miami 3-1, says Mr. Asif. So, and Sports World Talk also says 2-1 Inter Miami. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your predictions. I'm glad that everybody thinks Inter Miami is gonna win. Hasn't been a single person here that says Seattle's gonna win. Let's hope that is the case tomorrow. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Inter Miami will be playing Seattle in the League Cup Final 2025. Hopefully, we'll be able to see them raise a trophy. You guys will catch me back here live tomorrow after the game with the post-game reaction. Make sure you turn on your notification bells. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you hit the like button if you have enjoyed, so you guys don't miss the live stream after the game tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss it, regardless of the result. But thank you guys again for tuning in on a midday on a Saturday. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I can't wait for tomorrow. Let's hope for the best and Vamos Miami. Thank you guys. Take care. And shout out, one before I leave, shout out again to Sports World Talk for the 199, and shout out to Solid Rock for the 199 as well. Both of you guys are goats. All of you guys are goats for supporting me, and it means the absolute world to me. Have a good rest of your weekend, guys, and Vamos Miami.
¿Qué mira, bobo? Anda para allá, bobo.